So yes, it's true. Home values really skyrocketed in 2020. Not only is it true across the country, but it's true here in Bergen County as well. But don't be fooled, not every town here in Bergen County saw home values go up. So in today's video, I'm talking about the top 5 towns that saw the highest value increases, as well as the top 5 towns that actually saw decreases. I'm talking all about home values here in Bergen County. That's coming up next. Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'm Bob Dzienis, a local realtor here in Bergen County, New Jersey with eXp Realty. Thanks so much for joining me on my channel today. I really appreciate it. And today what I want to talk about is just home values overall. As we know, 2020 was really an unprecedented year, but it really is incredible what happened to the real estate market as well. Across the country, we were seeing home values really go up. And here across northern New Jersey, and in particular Bergen County, we saw a lot of home value increases as well. But like I said in the tease, not every single town here in Bergen County saw home values go up. So maybe you're in that mindset that now might be the right time to sell because you might make a lot of money on your home, which makes total sense, especially in this market right now. And frankly, 2021 doesn't really look to be changing all that much. Mortgage rates are looking to stay about the same. And so the vaccine is being distributed more and more, so some positive things are really coming down the pike. But still, there's that air of safety, that air of concern, that lack of inventory, that we just don't have a lot of inventory here in Bergen County right now. Sellers are continuing to have the dialogue if it makes sense to actually put their homes on the market, knowing that COVID-19 is still prevalent here in the United States. And so the thoughts of safety and just having overall concerns are still there. But what we saw in the market throughout 2020 and what we're continuing to see in 2021, a lot of home values have really increased in price and value. So what I want to do today is just give you some insights as to the towns that saw the highest value increases, as well as towns that actually did not see increase in home value. All right, so what I did was I looked at our New Jersey Multiple Listing Service, NJMLS. And in NJMLS, I can actually run a really great report. And what this report does, I have an entire list here of every Bergen County town, and I can see the median sold prices that occurred throughout the year. So it's actually comparing 2018 to 2019 to 2020. So as I'm going through the top 5 towns that saw increases and decreases, if your town is not listed in one of those that I'm discussing, make sure you go down into the description of this video. I have a PDF copy that you'll be able to download of this fantastic report. It's going to give you a list of every single town here in Bergen County and whether sold prices increased or decreased throughout the year. And honestly, it doesn't look like that's going to change much because of the way that the market is right now. All right, so let's get into the data, shall we? First off, from 2019 to 2020, Bergen County across the board actually saw 12.9% home value increase. And I'm sure based on this market, we will see some leveling off at some point, but we are seeing increases, multiple offers, etc. here in Bergen County. So if we look at 2020's data, the towns that saw the highest increase in home value, number 1 is Wallington, New Jersey in southern Bergen County. Home values in that town actually saw a 23.9% increase. And in second place actually is not too far away from Wallington. It's a town called Karlstad. And Karlstad saw a 23.2% increase. So what's interesting about these two towns, Wallington and Karlstad, is that their home values, their median home value tends to be kind of similar. In Wallington, you're going to find in the mid to upper 3s, and in Karlstad, you'll find prices in the high 3s to the low 4s typically. So why do you think maybe these towns saw such an increase in home value? Well, for Bergen County, these are actually very good price points. Schools aren't too bad. You can easily commute to New York City from both of those towns as well. And both of these towns really saw investors coming in, a lot of fix and flips that we were seeing. Okay, town number 3 that we saw the highest home value increases is a town called Closter, New Jersey. And Closter is a really desirable town here in Bergen. You're very close to Alpine, you're very close to 9W. You can easily drive into New York City from Closter. The schools are wonderful in that area, plus there's some great shopping that has just opened up over the past few years. You have a Whole Foods, you have a Target, you have a Home Goods as well. So it really is a desirable area for a lot of people. A lot of people are considering it. So Home values have really increased and closed. Okay, so town number 4 that saw the highest home value increases is Franklin Lakes. And Franklin Lakes is in the northwest section of Bergen County. It's sparsely suburban, homes are really spread out here, beautiful properties are available. So for a town like Franklin Lakes, we were seeing a lot of New York buyers making their way out of New York City in the 5 boroughs, and really looking in towns like Closter as well as Franklin Lakes for more land, more property, more opportunity just to get out of New York City. So the home value increase of Franklin Lakes was 20.4% from 2019. Okay, and then finally, town number 5 that saw the highest home value increase was Tenafly. And kind of a similar situation here. So Tenafly is pretty close to Closter. You've got some gorgeous, beautiful colonials, old homes in that area. Your price point in Tenafly can be in the mid to upper 9s to over $1 million. So again, a huge influx of buyers were taking advantage of this COVID situation. So Tenafly actually saw an 18.9% increase from 2019. So really a huge opportunity here if you were considering listing your home or if you did list your home in 2020. And since this market looks to continue through spring into summer, it still could be a great time if you wanted to sell your home and maybe actually consider leaving New Jersey. Okay, so like I said at the beginning of the video, not every town saw major increases like those 5 towns I just discussed. In fact, these 5 towns saw decreases in home values over the course of 2020. Okay, town number 1 is Montvale, New Jersey. Montvale is at the very tippy top of northern Bergen County in the Pascack Valley here in Bergen County. It's a great town. In fact, I actually have a video about Montvale here. Montvale prices tend to be a little bit higher in your high 5s, lower 6s potentially, and prices can just increase from there. But in fact, looking at the NJMLS data, it turns out Montvale saw a 6% decrease in home values. Okay, town number 2 that saw the biggest decrease in home values is Woodcliff Lake, New Jersey. In fact, Woodcliff Lake sits right next to Montvale. Woodcliff Lake is another beautiful town, sparsely suburban, mid-6 average, up to 7, sometimes 8. You can actually find $1 million properties as well in Woodcliff Lake. But in 2020, home values actually decreased about 2.8% in that town. Okay, town number 3 is Upper Saddle River here in Bergen County. Home values went down about 1.4% there. And if you're not familiar with Upper Saddle River, it's a very, very exclusive area of Bergen County. And when I say exclusive, what I mean by that is your home prices there are at least, they're pretty high. You're gonna find homes in the $1 million price range at least. A lot of property, a lot of area, but Upper Saddle River tends to have inventory that sits a little bit longer because of these price points. Okay, town number 4 that actually saw a decrease in home value is Harrington Park, New Jersey. Harrington Park actually sits kind of where Closter is, kind of where Tenafly is in that same area. Harrington Park is not necessarily the easiest commutable town, but it has a lot of charm. It's sparsely suburban. You've got some land there. You can easily drive into the city, but if you had to commute, not necessarily the easiest way to get into Manhattan. Okay, and then finally, town number 5 that saw a decrease in home values is Englewood Cliffs. Englewood Cliffs sits right along the Hudson River. You're very close to Fort Lee. You have incredible, incredible views actually of New York City. But a lot of building is happening in Englewood Cliffs and continues to happen. You'll find very beautiful multi-level properties that are being built there just because of the amazing views. So yes, it's a desirable area, but it did see some home value decrease throughout 2020. All right, so there you go, top 5 towns that saw the highest increase in home value, as well as top 5 towns that actually saw decreases in 2020. Like I said, the market doesn't seem to be shifting too much. We're seeing a consistency in these home prices. Mortgage rates are staying consistent as well in the high 2s right now. And we're still seeing buyers come from the 5 boroughs of New York City. But my advice is to really work with your real estate agent so that you can price a home well if you're looking to sell it. Or if you're looking to buy it, let's look at the market together to see would it make sense for you to look in one town versus another town. You also want to think about your longer term goals here, and will the market actually level off? Will home prices actually level off at some point? Because they kind of have to. So that whole value proposition really comes into play here. So because there's 70 towns here in Bergen County, I just talked about 10 of them. On this list are 60 more towns that can give you insights into maybe towns that you're considering looking to purchase in. Or if you're a home seller, maybe it makes sense. Could you potentially make 10 to 15% more on your home because of the way that the market is right now? Go ahead into the description box below you will be able to download a copy for free. So if you want to talk further about the market, where maybe your home might sit if you're looking to sell, or if you're a buyer and you want to talk about strategy and where you might want to look for a home, as always, feel free to reach out. Here's my information. Go ahead, shoot me an email, send me a text, give me a call. I'm happy to discuss any questions that you have about this unbelievable market, because it still continues to be very, very unbelievable. Like, that's the word. The pandemic has really thrown people into this flux of change. So reach out anytime. I'm happy to have a discussion, and let's just talk strategy and see what might make sense for you. So again, I'm Bob Dzienis with eXp Realty here in Bergen County and Northern New Jersey. I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next week with my next video.